kapwa ko Pilipino. Ipagmalaki ang galing na meron tayo. Ilantad ang likas nating talento at magdala ng saya sa mundo. Sa harap ng pagsubok ay di susuko. Para sa pangarap tayo'y porsigido. Magpakitang gilas na at magpapatalo. Ipagdiwang natin ang Pilipino. Yan ang Pinoy. Mula noon at hanggang ngayon, talento natin ng bida. Mula sa simpleng bakuran hanggang entablado natin ipakita. May pagsubok man ng Pinoy, pinalalakas ng saya. San man tayo sa pulo, Chumbe, Sibay, Lakay, Amiga. Sama-samang pakita ang galing natin katropa. Sa kapwa ko Pilipino.
Isa na namang napakaganda pong umaga dito sa Subic Bay, Freeport. At isa na namang araw kung saan espesyal ang ating pagtatanghal sa inyong paboritong kasama tuwing Sabado ng umaga. Ito po ang Power and Play live from the Asea Subic Beach Resort in Zambales. E di paano? Bango na! Power and Play na! Magandang umaga po sa inyo lahat, mga kapatid. Sabi ko nga, napakaganda ng araw. Abay, patapos na pala ang Enero, patapos na January 29. At parang ang bilis ng buwan. Tapos na naman ang isang buwan ng 2022. And of course, papasok na po tayo ng Chinese New Year. Sa Martes na po yan, February 1. Kaya bumabati po kami ng isang magandang araw sa inyong lahat mula po sa Asea Beach Resort dito sa Subic Bay, Freeport. Ito po ang Power and Play. Ako po si Noli Eala at ito po ang inyong kasama tuwing Sabado ng umaga. Hatid sa inyo ng Cherry Loom, ang yerong may aluminum at ng Cherry Tigo. It's fun to drive, powered by Smart. Magandang umaga po sa lahat ng ating mga tagapakinig sa Radyo 5, 92.3 News FM. Lahat po ng mga bumabiyahe na papasok sa kanilang mga trabaho o di kaya ay pauwi sa kanilang mga probinsya. Magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat. And of course, everyone who is tuned in on 1PH on Signal TV. Just a beautiful morning all around. Sana po ay kayo nasa mabuting kalagayan. Medyo bumababa na ang surge ng Omicron, pero mag-iingat pa rin po tayo. And of course, worldwide, good morning from Power and Play sa lahat po ng mga nakatutok sa Facebook pages namin sa 1PH, Radyo 5, and of course, Power and Play with Kom Noli Eala. Lots to get through today. Ang dami po nating kakausapin. Mamaya po, a special feature on your UAAP Courtside reporters. Yung kasaysayan ba ng UAAP Courtside at gaano kahalaga ba ang mga reporters na yan sa broadcast ng UAAP? Especially now na alam naman natin ang Signal ang host ng UAAP. Well, we're very excited. Hopefully ay magsimula na ang collegiate sports. Mamaya din po, makakapanayam natin ang isang Olympian, isang hinahangaan ng lahat. And of course, ngayon po ay siya ay busy sa kanyang bagong karera bilang, hindi naman bago, pero nagbabalik na karera bilang politiko. Monsour del Rosario will be in the house later to talk about sports and of course, a little bit about politics. At mamaya din po, makakausap natin dalawang batikang coaches. Isang veterano, isa namang halos isang taon na nasa head coaching position. Norman Black and Chris Gavina, coaches ng Meralco at ng Rain or Shine, will be with us this morning. So a lot to get through. Kaya umpisahan po na natin ang inyong paboritong programa, Power and Play, sa pamamagitan ng ating Sports Weekly Highlights. Opisyal na ang desisyon ng Philippine Olympic Committee na gawing persona non grata si Philippine Athletics Track and Field Association President Popoy Wico. 36 na miyembro ng POC Committee ang bumoto pabor sa desisyon. Pero nanindigan si Wico na ni-railroad ang desisyon at hindi dumaan sa tamang proseso. Na-ban si Wico matapos ang desisyon ng PATAFA na tanggalin sa national team si Olympian Paul Volter, EJ Obiena. Umaasa naman ng Philippine Sports Commission na magkakaayos pa sina Wico at Obiena lalo't na kumpleto na ang liquidation ng mga dokumento ng atleta. Balita sa iba pang atletang Pinoy, Roosevelt Adams goes to Japan. Aba, magandang balita. Ayon sa report ng spin.ph, nag-commit na sa Division 2 na B-League ang dating Terra Firma guard. Inalok ng 2-year deal ng Jeep ang 2019 top overall pick pero tinanggihan niya ito para sa Japan B-League. Sa volleyball, sa Thailand naman maglalaro si Dindin Santiago Manabat matapos ma-recruit ng Nakhon Ratchasima. Makakasama ni Manabat ang isa pang Pinay na si Mylene Paat na nauna ng import ng Thailand club. Ito na ang ikatlong overseas stint ni Dindin matapos kuhaning import sa Japan noong 2018 at 2019. Sa PBA News, kinumpirma ng Commissioner's Office na hindi muna ulit papayagan na ang live crowd sa pagbabalik ng Governor's Cup sa Pebrero. Ayon kay Commissioner Willie Marshall, mas mabuti munang walang fans sa mga arena lalo't hindi pa tapos ang Omicron variant surge. Nakabalik sa unang pagkakataon ng live fans noong Disyembre pero agad naputol ang momentum ng liga matapos tumaas ang COVID-19 sa simula ng 2022. Hinintay na lang ngayon ng PBA ang go signal o hinihintay na lang ngayon ng PBA ang gold signal ng ilang LGU para sa resumption ng Governor's Cup. Gilas update naman. Sa buong buwan ng Marso, abangan niyo po ito. Pwede na kayong bumili ng tickets para sa mga magiging laro ng Gilas, Pilipinas sa 2023 FIBA World Cup. Wow! 1,100 early bird team passes ang magiging available sa official website ng FIBA. Yung mga fans dyan, mag-abang na po kayo. Para po yan sa 5 laro ng Gilas sa group stage ng tournament. 2,499 ang pinakamurang ticket bundle at aabot ang presyo hanggang 52,999. Pero magandang ticket naman yan. Abangan niyo po yan. At sa football, pasok na sa quarterfinals ang Philippine National Women's Football Team. Yay! Sa 2022 AFC Women's Cup. Ito'y matapos tambangan ng ating pambato ang Indonesia sa score na 6-0 sa laban nito na ginanap sa India. Sa next round, makakaharap naman ng koponan ang Chinese Taipei. Malakas yan mga kapatid. Nagaganapin bukas. Sakaling maipanalo po ito ang magiging first appearance ng bansa sa FIFA Women's World Cup sa 2023. Wow! Laban mga Pinay, laban Pilipinas, laban tayo at ating pong ipagdasal ang ating koponan. Yan po mga kaibigan, ang ating mga balita sa ating sports weekly highlights. Naku, talaga pong napakagandang balita yung nangyari sa ating Philippine Women's National Football Team. Sila po ay nanalo sa group stage kontra unang-una ay napakalaking panalo ay yung Thailand. Kaya po tungtong sila sa susunod na stage, yung knockout stages sa quarterfinals. Tinalo nila ang Thailand 1-0. Nadapa sila sa Australia pero tinambakan nga po nila kagaya na naibalita natin ng Indonesia 6-0 at kaya po sila ngayon ay papasok sa quarterfinals. Kung tayo po ay magwawagi sa quarterfinals laban sa Chinese Taipei, kauna-una, kasaysayan po ito mga kapatid, natutungtong tayo sa FIFA World Women's Cup. Naku, pambihira pong pagkakataon yan na ating pong dapat ipagbunyi, ipagdasal ang ating mga koponan, yung pong si Coach Allen Steichich, and of course ang ating pong koponan, kinabibilangan ng kanilang team captain, si Tanay Anis, si Katrina Gulo, Sarina Bolden, Jessica Miklat, at marami pang iba, si Maria Luis Cesar. Marami pa po dyan na mga naglalaro. Kaya po, yan ang ating pupulsuhan ngayong araw pong ito. Sa ganda po ng nilalaro ng ating koponan, ng ating Philippine Women's Football Team. Ito po ang ating pupulsuhan ng bayan, mga kapatid. Samagat na kayo. Ano pong moniker? Anong gusto nating itawag? Kagaya ng Gilas Pilipinas sa basketball, meron po tayong mga tinatawag. Ano pong moniker na ang akma sa kanila? Maliban sa ngayon ay tinatawag silang Filipinas. Dati po ang tawag sa kanila, malditas. Ayaw daw nila yon dahil mukhang parang hindi magandang pakinggan. Kaya ngayon tinatawag silang Filipinas. Pero ano po talaga ang magandang moniker na akma sa kanila pagkatapos ng kanilang performance ngayon dito sa AFC Women's Asia Cup. Ha? Kung gusto niyo po makipagtalakayan, mag-text lamang sa aming hotline 0908-208-0629 o di kaya ay mag-comment sa aming Facebook page ng Power and Play o sa Facebook page ng 1PH at Radyo 5. Alright mga kapatid, yan po ang ating pupulsuhan. Again, marami po tayong magiging mga panauhin sa ating pagbabalik. Fast Take Plus kasama ng mga head coaches ng Meralco at ng Rain or Shine, Coach Norman Black at si Coach Chris Gavina. Ito po ang Power and Play, hatid sa inyo ng Cherry Loom at ng Cherry Tigo. Ang oras po natin, 11 minuto makalipas ang 8 ng umaga. This time check is brought to you by Birmingham Subdivisions. Come home to Birmingham.
I dare to dream big, to be a voice of my generation, to inspire resilience in the face of roadblocks. And in sharing my stories, I let others share in my passion.
Follow Kai's stories on Twitter and share yours with Smart Double Giga Stories. Share 2 times the passion with 2 gigabytes for Twitter and more. Guaranteed every day, plus data for all sites.
Simple, smart ako.
Alex, are you ready to have some fun on your first driving lesson?
I dare to dream big, to be a voice of my generation, to inspire resilience in the face of roadblocks. And in sharing my stories, I let others share in my passion.
Follow Kai's stories on Twitter and share yours. With Smart Double Giga Stories. Share 2 times the passion with 2 gigabytes for Twitter and more. Guaranteed every day. Plus data for all sites.
Simple, smart ako.
Alex, are you ready to have some fun on your first driving lesson?
Beach resort sa Subic. Beautiful day. Napakaganda pong tanawin, and of course, ang swimming pool, ang bar area, and of course, ang lahat po ng facilities dito. Excellent. Pumunta po kayo dito sa ASEA Subic Beach Resort. Magandang umaga po muli sa inyong lahat, mga kapatid. Ako po si Noli Eala at ako naman po ay nagmumula dito sa kanilang napakagandang gym dito sa ASEA. Again, ito, hilig ko to eh. Kaya ako tuwan-tuwa na ang daming facilities dito. At bago natin ipasok ang ating mga ibang panauhin, simulan muna natin sa muling pagkakamusta sa ating host ngayong araw pong ito, ang ASEA Beach Resort Subic. At makakasama po natin muli ang ating kaibigan from ASEA, si Melissa Correlia. Melissa, good morning to you.
Hi, Sir Noli. Good morning.
Oh, maraming salamat ulit. Thank you so much again for hosting us dito sa ASEA, Melissa. Naku, nakakatuwa because ang tagal natin na lockdown and it's good to be out finally, especially in your beautiful resort. Melissa, bago ako magtanong, nung pumasok ako kahapon, may nakita akong mga bago ninyong protocol. You have to go through that nice little equipment of yours, parang disinfection equipment, checking your temperature. How has the Omicron variant surge affected the operations, and ano ang mga ginawa ninyong bagong requirements?
Okay. So thank you, Sir Noli, again for visiting our resort here in Subic, your home, always here in Subic. So when the Omicron surge started, right after the holiday season, holiday celebrations, we also felt yung negative effect because our occupancy declines. So, ayun, mas pinaigtin lang namin lahat ng protocols. Actually, it's been going on since we reopened, but mas naging strict lang because mas mabilis mahawa yung mga tao with Omicron variant. And then also SBMA required 48 to 24 hours negative antigen test result before you even come here in Subic. So, yun lang naman yung nadagdag. Also, everybody must be fully vaccinated na talaga. Before, kahit hindi, or first dose, second dose pa lang, now it has to be fully vaccinated talaga.
Oo nga, hiningan kami ng aming mga vaccination cards and of course, all of the protocols. You know, the other thing I noticed is even yung mga napakababait yung staff cannot enter the rooms now, and talagang sabi nila, sir, pasensya na kayo na magdapasok ng inyong mga bag dyan. But they brought the storerooms, but they didn't want to step in. So it's really nice to see all of those protocols being implemented. Melissa, would you say that ASEA's doing much better than the other resorts still, despite itong nangyari sa ating lockdown?
I would say yes, because if you're gonna compare the property with other properties in Subic, no, um, while everybody's closing their door or just waiting for the pandemic to end, us ASEA is renovating, improving our facilities, striving, really working hard to attract guests to stay and feel confident to go out, no, even still pandemic. Parang kami very visionary kami. We want na to survive this pandemic. We want to live with it. We're not gonna wait for it to end. Parang ganon. So yeah, I mean having a team of young minds and very positive, not in a way na COVID
Oo.
positive, but new mind setting is there. So I think that's one of the best attributes that we have here in Subic. So yeah.
Or, yeah, all right. So, you talked about a lot of plans. Yung meron pa rin kayong ginagawa kahit na pandemic na or kahit
Yes.
na nag-surge.
Yes.
What are the new plans for 2022 ng ASEA? Are there
Yeah.
expansion of facilities? Meron akong mga nakikita
Mhm.
construction. Parang nagbukas na nga yung playground para sa mga bata dito. Eh.
Yes, we actually opened the playground last December. December, bago matapos yung taon, talagang inopen na namin para kids would have something to do while they're here kasi parang tuwan-tuwa sila, nakalabas na sila, di ba? Tapos this 2022, we might start na the construction of our new building, second phase ng ASEA. So we are
Wow.
planning to add more rooms in the resort. We'll also be launching our event packages like weddings, birthdays, and then guest activities every month. And there's a lot more, Sir Nolly.
Nice.
Food.
Naku,
Nandito din yung mga offerings namin.
I'm looking forward to that. Alam mo, ngayon pa lang hindi mo na malaman kung anong gagawin mo dito with the beach, with the sports facilities, with the pool, the KTV rooms, ako talaga, and of course yung banquet, no? Napakasarap ng pagkain. Talking about that, Melissa, no? Chinese New Year is coming up, Valentine's is coming up. Meron pa tayong mga promos for our guests?
Yes. So for the guests staying over the Chinese New Year, our chef is preparing sumptuous dinner or food offerings for them. So of course, they could always order the cuchinillo. We have tikoys for the guests. And then for the Valentine's, of course, everybody loves Valentine's. We prepared a package for couples and small families. So we'll be having a romantic dinner by the garden or by the beach, depends on the weather pa. And also a movie night, like an outdoor movie night, because we want to encourage everybody to watch movies again, but in an outdoor setting. So, yun.
Wow. Well, a lot to expect, a lot to look forward to, Melissa, and we certainly are hopeful na makakabalik ulit ang Power and Play dito sa ASEA. Thank you so much
Yes,
for
sir.
hosting us
Every
again.
month.
Oh, thank you so much, and we look forward to seeing more guests coming over, mga kaibigan. So again, just invite them over,
Hopefully, bumalik na
Melissa.
sila.
Imbitahin mo lang sila na bumalik ulit dito sa ASEA.
Yes. To all of the guests and guests who are planning to stay here at ASEA, you've heard from Sir Nolly itself, know how safe it is here in ASEA and how we strictly follow the protocols. So if you have these plans of going here, ito na yung sign, punta na kayo. Just book your room by our website. It's www.asea.ph or call us through our mobile numbers, 0917-114-1111. So
Thank
see you
you.
here at Subic po.
Salamat. Thank you so much, Melissa. We'll see you around. Yan po mga kaibigan, si Melissa Gorilla, ang Events and Banquet Manager ng ASEA Beach Resort sa Subic. Naku talaga po, pumunta kayo. It's really going to be a fun time for the family. I promise you that. Ilang beses na tayong pumapasyal dito, hindi ho tayo nagsasawa dahil napakagandang tanawin, ganda ng facilities, ang sarap ng pagkain, and the rooms. Hindi na kayo lalabas ng room eh. Sarap mahiga sa sa kanilang kama. Alright mga kaibigan, tuloy-tuloy po tayo. We're talking about power and play from ASEA. Well, right now, we have with us two of the power players in the conference ng Governor's Cup na naantala, but the PBA is about to restart in February. And we have with us the head coaches of Meralco and Rain or Shine, Coach Norman Black and Coach Chris Gavina. Good morning, gentlemen. Tingnan natin kung makukuha natin si Coach Norman. Okay. Medyo nag-iintay pa tayo. Mukhang nagkakaroon pa ng konting technical issues, but we will continue to wait for them. Again, mga kaibigan, ang Rain or Shine po currently has a record of 2-3 nung tumigil ang Governor's Cup. Ang Meralco naman ay 2-0. Wala pang talo ang Meralco, although dadalawa pa lang ang kanilang laro. And mainly, it's been their imports, yung talagang dalawang prolific scorers ng Rain or Shine at ng Meralco. Para sa Rain or Shine, si Henry Walker, at para sa Meralco, si Tony Bishop. Just terrific imports para sa kanila. Perfect fit, and we wanna get to that point. Gusto natin makita ang kanilang sitwasyon. Kaya po natin inimbitahan. Of course, some of their thoughts on what's going on in the PBA. So again, abangan niyo po si Norman Black and si Coach Chris Gavina. All right. Isa pa po natin gustong ibalita sa inyo habang tayo ay naghihintay ngayon ay ang patuloy po na paglalaro o yung pong saga, yung pong patuloy na nangyayari sa Patafa at saka kay EJ Obiena. Doon po sa mga nag-aabang, mga kapatid, ang si EJ Obiena po ay kumalas na doon sa mediation between their camp and of course ang Patafa na ginagawa ng Philippine Sports Commission sa pamumuno ni Chairman Butch Ramirez. Well, sabi niya para daw hindi patas at hindi makatarungan ang ginagawa ng Patafa, kaya po siya ay humiwalay na o hindi na po nagpatuloy doon sa mediation. On the other hand, ng Patafa, dahil po sa nangyari, ay tinuluyan na si EJ Obiena na tanggalin o ilaglag mula sa national training pool ng track and field. Ito po ay malungkot na development, mga kapatid. Napakalungkot ng development sa pagsisimula ng taon dahil parang walang nanalo Parang walang nanalo dito. Kaya po, atin po susubukan next week na kung kahit papano ay makausap ang dalawang panig para po ating pong matunghayan ang nangyayari po sa Patafa at kay EJ Obiena. Again, we hope na maayos, sabi nga ni Chairman Butch Ramirez, pagpapakumbaba. Tanggalin ang ego. Konting pagpapakumbaba, konting humility, and hopefully ay tayo po ay magkakaroon ng solusyon. Alright mga kaibigan, we'll take a quick break. Sa amin pong pagbabalik, makakasama natin Coach Norman Black and Coach Chris Gavina. Ito po ang Power and Play, hatid sa inyo ng Cherry Loom at ng Cherry Tigo. Ang oras po natin, 8:30 ng umaga. This time check is brought to you by Birmingham Subdivisions. Come home to Birmingham. Kami po ay magbabalik.
I dare to dream big, to be a voice of my generation, to inspire resilience in the face of roadblocks. And in sharing my stories, I let others share in my passion.
Follow Kai's stories on Twitter and share yours with Smart Double Giga Stories. Share 2 times the passion with 2 gigabytes for Twitter and more. Guaranteed every day, plus data for all sites.
Simple, smart ako.
Alex, are you ready to have some fun on your first driving lesson?
Yan po mga kaibigan ng buffet ngayong umaga dito sa Asea Beach Resort sa Subic. Araw-araw po yan ha. Meron silang napakasarap na buffet. Ang daming mga biker ha, yung mga nagbumotor. Galing po ng iba't ibang lugar ng ating bansa. Lalo-lalo na dito sa Luzon na pumupunta po dito sa Asea dahil ang sarap po ng kanilang buffet. Kompleto ha. Lalong-lalo na ito. Yan yung homemade tapa. Kaya pupunta kayo dito sa Asea sa Subic. Alright mga kaibigan, magandang umaga ulit sa lahat po ng ating mga suki, lalong-lalo na kay Tita Tina, sa aking kaibigan si Tina Tan. Good morning, Tins. Good to know that you are tuned in. Of course, binabati po natin lahat ng ating mga tagapakinig dyan po sa panig po ng Batangas, sa Tanaw City, and of course, Batangas City. Alright, bago natin ipasok ang ating mga bisita, again, paalala lang po na si Yuka Saso ay lumalaban dun po sa Gainbridge LPGA sa Florida at sa kasalukuyan she is tied second, pangalawa si Yuka Saso po kay Lydia Ko ng Australia, si Lydia Ko, at si Yuka Saso po ay currently 4 behind the leader. So again, ang ganda na naman ng performance ni Yuka Saso. Iba nagsasabi, ba't naman binabanggit pa yan si Yuka? Sabi nga, Hapon na daw siya at hindi Pilipino. Hindi po Sabi po ni Yuka, yung pong pagkuha niya ng Japanese passport ay para po sa convenience, para po madali bumiyahe. Ang problema, talagang hindi pwedeng payagan ng bansang Hapon yung dalawa ang kanyang citizenship. Kaya po napilitan siyang pumili. Pero sa puso po niya at isipan, kahit saan po siya pumunta at kahit saan siya lumaban, Pilipino po rin pa ang kanyang pakiramdam. Siya po ay dual citizen, Pilipino at Hapon dahil ang kanyang nanay ay Pilipina at siya po ay patuloy na ipagmamalaki ang kanyang dugong Pilipino. Alright, 11 games on schedule sa NBA today and of course the news yesterday, ang pagpili ng all-star teams ng NBA kung saan ang mga kapitan ay si LeBron James muli sa Western Conference at si Kevin Durant naman sa Eastern Conference. At ang pinili nga ng mga starters ni LeBron at saka ni KD ay mga bigatin. Joel Embiid, nandyan sa panig ni Kevin Durant. Nandyan po si Trae Young, na napakahusay na manlalaro. Doon naman sa panig ng West, andyan po si Steph Curry at nandyan din po of course si may pinili sila na medyo kontrobersyal si Andrew Wiggins. Ja Morant napili din yung aking paborito ngayon, si Ja Morant ng Memphis. And today I think ang maganda dito is may laban ang Memphis kontra Utah. That should be a good game today. All right. Well, at this point, ipasok na natin muna. Habang iniintay natin ang isa pa nating bisita, ipasok na muna natin ang ating head coach ng Rain or Shine. Walang iba kundi si head coach Chris Gavina. Chris, good morning, coach.
Good morning, Kom. Thanks for having me.
Oh, thank you for joining us today. I know that these are uncertain times, and I'm just so happy to see you again. Well, first of all, Coach Chris, you're almost a year since I interviewed you when you were newly appointed as head coach of Rain or Shine. You've had a full conference behind you, and now you're in the middle of your second one. How has it been so far for you?
Continue to be blessed of the position I'm in. I just turned 43 a couple days ago.
Oh, wow. Happy birthday.
Thank you. So, anytime that another year passes and more opportunities come my way, it's always you have to always reflect on the great things you have in life, and basketball is one of them. So I'm enjoying it. I'm just enjoying it, and then letting this break kind of be my time to reassess myself, what I've been doing, what I can improve for our team and our players.
When you assess yourself, what have been the biggest learnings for you in your first year as head coach? I mean, you've been coaching for a long time, but as head coach, it's a different kind of protocol, a different kind of routine for you. What has been the biggest takeaway for you?
Just evaluating X's and O's, little things that I can explain better for our guys to understand our style of play that we want to play offensively, defensively. I think watching all these NBA games I get to watch now, I get to watch as a coach in regards to I like how reading substitution patterns, how teams adjust from first half to second half, the sets they run from the beginning of the game to the end of the game. So little things like that I've been really able to evaluate and improve upon myself.
That's great. It's always good to be learning, even at a stage where you're very accomplished. When you're already heading your own team, obviously there's still a lot of things to learn from other experienced coaches as well. You said that you've taken this time, this lull, to take a hold of yourself, maybe get some rest, maybe assess what's going on. How has the stoppage been for rain or shine? You started well. You went into a little bit of a tailspin, and then you came back strong just before Christmas although you lost to Talk and Text, you still had a terrific game out there. You're now at 2-3. Do you think that this is a good for you, that somehow it's a welcome relief for the team?
Yeah, definitely. Welcome relief and possibly a blessing in disguise, because the time off has allowed our import Henry Walker to get in better playing shape and playing weight. Even told himself that he needed some time to really get himself physically prepared, and gain more chemistry with our young guys. He's a highly demanding guy, so some of our guys have just kind of had to acclimate to his high level of accountability, and some of our guys are responding a lot quicker than others, and it's something we need as a young team. As a young team, you need discipline. You need that high level accountability, because who's going to teach them other than a former NBA player who's played at the highest level?
You're talking about Henry Walker. Obviously, he's been a big help to the team, as you have mentioned. You know, how do you assess him in terms of his personality, in terms of his relationship right now with the team, and of course, what do you think are his potentials further as you move forward in the Governor's Cup?
Um, he's a true professional. He's one of those guys that you think that just because he has NBA pedigree that he's not going to be coachable. You can't press him hard or talk to him in a way where you can say, "Hey, I need you to start taking over or play better defense here or little techniques." He's still no, he still wants to learn, even at his stage of his career. He knows that he's not going to be able to do everything on his own out here. He's always asking questions to me of where I want him to be or how I want him to play during certain times of the game. So that's a great credit to him, his personality of having an open mind like that, and I really enjoyed our stint together so far, and I feel like we haven't really seen his best yet, and I feel we can still get to another level if everybody's on board.
The PBA is set to resume, hopefully in the start of February, and you guys are obviously raring to go as well, because it's difficult to be doing this stop and go thing all the time. How has the team kept in shape? What have you been able to do during this lull with the team, Coach?
We've been pretty diligent in keeping our groups separate from one another to make sure that one group doesn't, cross-contaminate one another while we're in our 4-player training, which we're allowed right now. During this time, I've really just been stressing to my players and the team and the coaches to focus on getting ourselves in better condition, so that when we come back, when at a ground zero, we can just go out, sprinting onto the floor. We don't have to worry about getting in conditioning when we get off our scrimmages back in practice, and then details of techniques and the things that you kind of take for granted sometimes. Simple box out drills sometimes when at the pro level, these pros kind of as well as coaches we take for granted when we're already doing team setting practices. So back to the fundamentals, it
Yeah.
always comes back to that.
Obviously, there are things that have to be done with the team. As I mentioned, your record is 2-3. Of course, in the Philippine Cup, you did very well. You got into the playoffs, although you were swept in the quarterfinals. But still, it was a very credible showing. What key adjustments are you hoping to make now as we resume the PBA Governors Cup? Areas that you feel the team needs to improve on?
I think for myself, I've been reading this book by Tim Grover called Winning, and he shared a story in there about Michael Jordan telling him that he was never scared of why should he be scared of a shot that he's never taken. And so I think for me, my mentality is I've been kind of hesitant at times of putting our young guys into the fire. To me, it's just going to be there won't be any more labels in regards to my part. I think our guys have kind of revealed what they're going to provide for us. So I'm just going to put out there several different groupings that I may have not experimented with or not given enough players a chance to show what they're capable of doing. So it'll keep everybody on their heels, and I feel it'll increase our team morale as we move forward.
I want to move on to a topic that is a little bit sensitive, and this is about the unrestricted free agency that's going on in the league right now. There have been three players, maybe more, that have opted to exercise their right for free agency, and obviously this is a fresh thing that's going on in the PBA. You have signed, Rain or Shine has signed at least your main players already. Rain Ambatak to a 3-year contract. Bo Belga, Norbert Torres, even Anton Asisio have been signed by Rain or Shine. Is this a concern for the team, free agency, and this version at this point in time with the PBA?
Yeah, definitely. When you assess that 7-year rule, you have to look at who's going to fall into that the next few years and who may take a look into free agency, because it's now part of our reality in the PBA. As a coaching staff and as a management, we have to kind of know how do we move forward if a player does choose to go to, let's say, greener pastures that we cannot we're unable to match. So choosing those type of players that would have a decision to stay more than to explore their options becomes a high priority, I guess, for every team. Because, for instance, a team like Coach Norman Black with John Pinto, he played an integral part for them in their success the past few conferences and their playoff runs, and and a credit to John for expanding his role there, and another team seeing his growth, and he never was able to at this point take advantage of free agency.
All right, Coach Chris, I will just put you a little bit on the side first as we bring in Coach Norman Black here, as you were mentioning Coach Norman, and we're just so happy to also have him here on the show today. Norman, good morning. Thank you for joining us today.
Magandang umaga, Noli. Thank you.
Thank you so
Hi,
much
Coach.
for joining.
How are you?
Hey, Coach. Good morning.
I mentioned a while ago that this is I respect the two of you very highly. Norman, of course, is a good friend of mine and many years in the league, and obviously he's a voice. He is a brilliant coach, a champion coach. And Chris, I've always said this. I've always believed that you are one of the young coaches that really have a lot more to give, and I think you're going to be a terrific addition to the coaching milieu here in the Philippines. Norman, I was asking Chris about, how the stoppage has affected your team. You started out 2-0, obviously good run, and mainly because of your import, Tony Bishop has been terrific. How has the stoppage been? Is this a momentum breaker for Meralco?
I'm not really sure, Noli. I think all of us are probably wondering how it's going to affect our teams. We've tried to keep ourselves in the best shape possible, considering the situation. But you never know when you're coming back how you're going to start off. I'm not sure if our schedule will be the same as it was before. We're supposed to play Alaska, Magnolia, in our first 2 games back to back. So we just have to wait and see at this point. I have not been able to get my team together as a group for almost a month now. So we're just working individually for the time on the court. Yeah, it's a big question mark at this point, Noli.
All right, but you mentioned that you haven't gotten everyone together. But how are you making use of this lull right now? I mean, in terms of even just looking at the little things that can help your team improve.
Well, basically, it's just been skill training. Guys have been getting up a lot of shots, focusing on ball handling, passing, dribbling. We've done a lot of conditioning to make sure the guys are in shape when we get back, so that won't be a problem. And you do a lot of 3-on-0, a lot of 4-on-0. If the coach that's part of that group is in good shape, maybe you can just go 5-on-0 if he can get out there and run with the group. But you just can't do any 5-on-5. That's really the major concern here. And the problem as far as being able to get in tune for what you're going to have to be up against when you start the season.
I asked Coach Chris about Henry Walker and his role with the team and how much he has impacted the team. I want to ask you the same thing and check in on Tony Bishop, just a prolific scorer, just one of the best that we've seen. How has he been as a leader of this team, as a voice, and how do you see his role growing as we move forward in the Governor's Cup?
Well, the one good thing about Tony is it's just not his talent. He is a talented guy. He shoots the basketball very well, particularly from the perimeter. He can rebound. He can play defense. He's a good shot blocker. But the good thing about Tony is his ability to get along with his teammates. His overall attitude has been great. He's very, very coachable. And I think Coach can also tell you, Gavina can also tell you that that's so important when it comes to coaching, that you get players who are going to cooperate and really just execute for you every time out. So he's been a good addition for us. He's another guy I'm a little bit concerned about right now because he hasn't practiced in a long time. He's been doing the individual workouts and he is in shape, but we just got to get back to 5-on-5 again so we can get some rhythm.
Let me ask Coach Chris now. Coach, you've lost a little bit with James Yap. You've given him a new contract, but he's not playing for the team. Obviously, he's going to be campaigning, and he has taken a leave of absence from Rain or Shine. How much of a loss is James Yap, and was this a vote of confidence, giving him still a contract despite him not playing with the team?
It's where James is in his career right now. Everyone respects his political aspirations in regards from our ownership and management. They've really provided him 100% in him trying to go all out and him becoming a concejal. And giving him his extension kind of gives him a slightly open window for a return. But obviously it'll be upon his motivation of how he wants to come back. Can he come back after a year off and compete? I think that's what it comes down to. I mean, look at Tom Brady. He's like 43 and he just was one game away from, pushing his team to another Super Bowl appearance or another championship game. So I think it's just going to come down how motivated James is. I'm always open to bringing him back because he gives you another instant score and a great leader in the on and off the court that our younger guys really respond to.
Talking about losses, of course, Norman, you've had your own fair share, and obviously the name there is, of course, Nards Pinto, who has, of course, moved on from Meralco as a free agent. how much of a loss is Pinto to the team, Norman? And what are you doing to make those adjustments to fill in the shoes, I guess, or even the role of Pinto for your team?
Well, Noli, with that in mind, I think, I'm a former player in the league, so I think back to the times where Marlo Aquino and Dennis Espino and Kenneth Dorimdis and some of the other players in the league at that time, they really worked hard to try to get more rights for the players. And I think one of the results of that, Verhel Meneses was another guy who was very much involved in that. I think one of the results was the fact that this rule was actually put in place where after 7 years, guys would be able to become unrestricted free agents. So being a former player, I'm certainly for the rights of the players. I mean, this is a rule that was put in place quite a while ago, and now it's being implemented now. So I'm all for the rule. My only concern probably would be the timing, the fact that it's happening in the middle of a conference, the fact that there's a possibility you may lose a key player like we did with Nards, because Nards is not our leading scorer, but he was averaging about 25 minutes a game. He was starting a lot of the games. So he was a rotational player for us, who was one of our better defenders on the perimeter. And it's very difficult to make that adjustment in the middle of the conference. You lose the player. There's a possibility you may not get a player back in return to help you. So the player's just gone. Now, in most cases, I'm all for that because, like I said, it's a rule. It's a PBA rule, which we should follow. I'm just concerned about the timing and the fact that it's happening while we're actually playing games in the middle of a conference.
Well, that is certainly a matter that is of concern. Coach Chris, before I go to the fast take portion of our interview, let me just ask you about this. What Norman is saying. There are a lot of players that are, there's a lot of movement in mid-season, mid-conference actually, that is affecting a lot of teams. And when you look at when you go down the line, you've seen some players who have not been re-signed. KG Canaleta, Frank Golia, David Semerad, all of Blackwater. Terra Firma has lost, of course, Matt Ganuelas Rosser Adams is moving to the Japan B-League. I heard Andreas Kahilig is also going to be exercising his unrestricted free agency, and then many more. Do you think that a moratorium should have been in place first, just to finish the conference before all of these movements, just so that teams are not affected unnecessarily in the middle of a conference?
Yeah, I'm in total agreement with Coach Norman about the timing of the unrestricted free agency. I'm all for it. Also, it gives players an ability to be rewarded for the hard work and recognition they've put into their game to be recognized by other teams. But then as a coach, if for instance, if you lose like a John Pinto rotational guy and you don't get nothing back, that means someone from your, let's say, third team has to take that place, or you may have to cut your rotation in the middle of a good start. And those are little things that can determine success in a conference or in a season. So maybe the start of the free agency season may have been kind of delayed till the end of this conference, maybe to let teams and coaches get acclimated to what happens. But it's a rule now, and then we just have to really be able to adapt to it and make the best of whatever situation we're put in as coaches, I guess.
All right. Well, a lot of talk will be happening about free agency, obviously, and we'll get more of that with the coaches, with the players, and league officials as we move along. I have a portion here that I want to get through, and this is what we call fast take on Power and Play. And fast take is what? In fast take, I give you 3 issues, and I'll give you a minute just to answer them. I won't have any comment. Just a minute. You just say what you want to say. As we say in the vernacular, bato-bato sa langit, tamaan, wag magagalit. And of course, there is no right or wrong answer here. And the first issue I want to throw to you, coaches, is this. Are you in favor of adjusting the playoffs to a 7-game series starting with the quarterfinals. And I'll begin with you, Coach Chris. You have 1 minute. Go.
Yeah, why not? It gives teams, let's say from game who are ranked 1 through 8, even opportunity. When you're at the 8th position and you're at twice the beat disadvantage, it puts a lot of pressure on you. So a 7-game series from quarterfinals forward, you may be able to get a chance to gain momentum by winning early game on a higher seed team. And everybody wants to see an underdog have good battles against the top Goliath teams in the league, and it'll only bring higher quality of play from during the playoffs, which from a PBA fan perspective, that's what you really want to see. High quality of play at the highest level at the most important time of the year.
All right. Well, we're looking forward to that. Norman, same issue. Are you in favor, or should the league adjust all playoff matchups to a best of 7 starting with the quarterfinals this Governor's Cup? 1 minute, Norm. Go.
Yes, I have a little bit of a different opinion, I guess. I think the championship series should definitely be best of 7. There's no question about that. By that time, you have the 2 best teams in the league. I feel like even myself with the Morocco team and even the Rain and Shine team, we can beat any team on any given day. So, but at the same time, we know that some of our teams don't have the same depth as some of the top teams have. So the longer the series, the more, for me, it's an advantage for the teams that are deeper. I think we should probably, if I could, go best of 3 in the quarters, best of 5 in the semis, and best of 7 in the finals.
All right. Well, obviously, they say a longer series always favors the stronger teams, and a shorter series, there's a chance there that you might just sneak in a win. So I guess it's a difference of thinking. But again, for the fans, seeing your team play in a long series is always a welcome relief. All right. Second issue or fast take of the morning. Dapat na bang maglagay ng coaches challenge system sa PBA? Is it time for the PBA to implement a coaches challenge system? I'll begin with you, Norm. 1 minute. Go.
Yes, I'm all for it. I like the way it works in the NBA. I wouldn't say that every time there's a challenge, the team that's challenging is successful, but a lot of times they are successful. The only difference I would see, Noli, would be the fact that I would give that challenge back to the team if they were successful. So in other words, I would give them a total of 2 if they're successful with the first one.
Wow.
The way it goes right now, if you're successful, it doesn't matter. They still take away the chance for you to use it again.
Right.
Is that correct?
That's right. That's right. That's right.
And if you're not successful, they take it away totally. So I would think that if you are successful and you are correct, you might be able to get that 1 challenge back for the rest of the game.
Well, that's a tennis rule. In tennis, that's what happens. If you challenge and you win your challenge, you keep your challenges. Of course, in the NBA, if you lose your challenge, you lose a timeout, and that's really a lot of penalty using the challenge. So, same issue, Coach Chris. Is it time for the PBA to initiate a challenge rule starting with this season? 1 minute, Coach Chris. Go.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, why not? I've been watching several NBA games where a coach utilizes their challenge at a key part of the game. Let's say someone takes a charge late in the game and then it gets overturned, and that's decided whether they won or lost the game, that one possession right there. So it gives an opportunity for the coach to reassess key quick plays in the game that could decide you go into the semifinals, you go into a championship game. So it gives added confidence on the coach's part to really make sure that he gives his team the best situation to win a ball game, and it also gives the referees an opportunity to make sure they get the right call. And
that's right.
At the end of the day, that's what it comes down to.
That's right. Well, that is key. I think that's where really it should. That's the reason why I think we should implement that, just to make sure we get the right call, especially at the crucial stages. But of course, the key also there is technology. I think TV has to cooperate. The TV coverage has to have a better system so that we can get more angles on the plays. Final issue of the morning, gentlemen, and again, this is about the PBA. Which team do you think benefited the most during this COVID break? I'll start with you, Coach Chris. 1 minute, go.
I would say us. I needed the extra time to reassess why we lost some two critical games in our schedule, and we still have 5 big games left. Coach Norman Black's team's in there, so it's given our guys the ability to get in better shape, improve our skills and passing fundamentals. And Coach Norman mentioned a coach had to join 5-0. I had to join 5-0 all this week with my guys, so I had to get in shape. So that's kind of helped me during this break. Also. So I would say us until we come back. So
all right. Well, that's logical. Norman, same issue. Which team do you think was most benefited by the COVID break in the Governor's Cup? 1 minute, Norman, go.
Well, in answer to what Coach Chris just said, if we had been able to play 5-on-5, it probably would have been us because we lost a key player and we would have been able to make the adjustments. But because we were not able to play 5-on-5, that kind of negated that. I would think Phoenix and Alaska, number one, mainly because when the conference was cut, both of them had injuries to their imports.
Right.
So they've had an opportunity for their imports to heal and get back to 100% again. So that helps them. And also Blackwater and San Miguel, because I believe they changed their imports. So that gives the two guys a chance to adjust to their new team during the break. And it gives the coaches a chance to really, assess how good their imports are and where they're going to fit into the team.
Especially when you talk about imports coming in, at least that break, they didn't lose time in terms of the quarantine, and immediately they will be able to play. Gentlemen, thank you for joining us on Fast Take this morning. Before I let you go, the fans will not be there when the PBA resumes. Your thoughts on that, Norman? Does that have an impact not only on your team but I guess on the league?
Yeah, we just have to go with the flow on this one. The health experts know what's best for the league and what's best for the players to keep them safe, along with the public. It was really nice to have the fans back, though. I mean, even if there were only 2,000 or 3,000 fans in the stadium when we were playing, they were so loud, it seemed like a lot more. So I'm hoping the fans will get back as soon as possible. They are an important part of the game. As a former player, like I said, it's the reason why you play. I mean, I know it's your job, but at the same time, you're out there trying to impress the fans as much as you can and show them that you're a good player. So hopefully the fans will get back as quickly as possible, and there'll be a motivating factor for the players to play well.
All right. Well, thank you, gentlemen, for joining us this morning. Coach Chris, it was a pleasure having you. Coach Norman, always, you're always there for me. Thank you so much for joining us in Power and Play. And good luck in the resumption of the Governor's Cup.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Colin.
All right. Mga kaibigan, ang head coaches ng Rain or Shine, Coach Chris Gavina, and the head coach ng Meralco, si Coach Norman Black on Power and Play. Thank you so much for joining us today. All right. Isa pong paalala lamang mga kaibigan, mga kapatid. Puso Pilipinas is a movement to celebrate the Filipino athlete powered by Smart. Follow them on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. Get a chance to win exclusive Puso Pilipinas merch by sharing their Facebook page and your social media accounts with hashtag Puso Pilipinas. The Gigalife App is the latest mobile app from Smart that lets you discover and enjoy your passions with the different Giga promos. It can be downloaded and used by Smart Postpaid, Smart Prepaid, Bro Prepaid, and TNT subscribers via the Apple or Google Play Store. What can the Gigalife app do for me? Check your balance, monitor your current subscription, top up using debit credit card, subscribe to the latest Giga promos, monitor your data consumption, auto-detect your mobile number when you are connected to Smart Network one-tap subscription to the most popular offer, Giga Video 99. And of course, Power and Play is powered by Smart. At this point, bago po tayo mag-break, let me just bring in another very, very good friend of Power and Play, ang ating pong isa sa mga tagapagtaguyod ng palatuntunan, ang Cherry Tigo. And we have with us today their head of marketing, no other than Sir Luigi Ignacio. Magandang umaga po, Mr. Ignacio. Thank you for joining us
Good morning.
on Power and Play.
Good morning, Noli. Yeah.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure, Noli, and good morning to you, the rest of your team.
Maraming salamat. Again, ang Cherry Tigo has been a tremendous partner ng Power and Play, and again, we thank you for continuing your support, of course, for Power and Play. Let me begin, Mr. Luigi, with yung issue ng pandemic, of course. How has the pandemic affected your, I guess, your operations, your sales, and how is Cherry Tigo coping?
Well, the brand, Noli, as similar to other companies in other industries, we had to bring out our grit and resilience to be able to survive and overcome the challenges of COVID. And what that led us to was it allowed us to actually innovate. It allowed us to really test and introduce new concepts in terms of promoting the brand to be able to succeed and overcome, challenges from the market, from the consumer's point of view, even the way our competitors are also trying to navigate themselves through the pandemic, and that brought us to performing, we better than previous year as compared to 2020. In fact, in 2021, we were able to achieve a growth of 223% versus previous year.
Wow.
And that was a testament to how the organization exemplified that resilience. And it's not only and that resilience also was demonstrated by the employees, by the entire organization, and we were able to do that by the support of management. And despite the challenges, every company took a hit, but UAAGI as an organization led by Mr. Sitin made sure that all the employees were well covered, were ensured that the stability is there despite all these unknowns that we are facing because of the pandemic, and that allowed us to really bring out the best, and resilience came out, and grit was actually there the whole time.
Well, nakikita natin yan, Luigi. In fact, you continue to be one of the leading, of course, car sales distributor here in the Philippines, in the country. And of course, the new brands that you're bringing out just excites the market, obviously, and we've seen that. But more than that, meron kayong aspeto, Luigi, that you are involved in sports. Now let me ask you about that. No, why is Cherry Tigo in particular so involved in sports, particularly in women's volleyball?
Well, it has been an advocacy of UAAGI. I think even our chairman, Mr. Romel Sitin, has been very vocal and a strong advocate of Philippine sports, primarily because this builds character. In a person who's very much involved into all these activities eventually builds something strong within them. And I think that advocacy, the type of advocacy, is what led us to really be present in all these social programs. And for example, we've been supportive of other sports activities outside volleyball, like Gilas. And we've supported Gilas in the FIBA Basketball World Cup. But now we're actually our volleyball team is very much in a competitive mode already because of how we've supported the team, and we continue to use that experience to make sure that we build future star athletes, and we look.
Sa katunayan, Cherry Tigo just won in the PVL last season, and you continue to build. And I guess before I let you go, what should the fans be looking forward to with the team ng Cherry Tigo, as well as, of course, yung support ng Cherry Tigo, ng UAAGI, ng Cherry Auto Philippines sa team nila?
Well, of course, we will defend our crown. That's the primary
nice.
goal. We will defend the crown. We will maintain we will try to be back-to-back champions. No, and with the support of UAHI under Chairman Romel Sitin, I think everybody is motivated to win, and despite all the challenges, I think that is also what pushes us to constantly innovate the way we do things. No, even how our volleyball teams are trying to get the best out of themselves. We're all in it. We're all committed to it. So rest assured that we will be very competitive this season, and that we will protect the crown.
Wow, those are big words, and I'm sure the fans are looking forward to it, and many of the players are, of course, looking forward to the support ng UAGI and Cherry Auto Philippines. Mr. Luigi Ignacio, thank you for joining us on Power and Play, and thank you for supporting our show. And we hope to see more of you on the show in the coming months. Maraming salamat.
Thank you, Noli. Thank you.
Mga kaibigan, ang Vice President ng Cherry Auto Philippines, and of course, ang pinuno ng marketing, walang iba kundi si Mr. Luigi Ignacio ng UAAGI. Iyan po ang mother company ng Cherry dito sa ating bansa. Alright mga kaibigan, we will take a short break. Sa amin pong pagbabalik, makakasama natin Olympian Monsour del Rosario. Ito po ang Power and Play, hatid sa inyo ng Cherry Loom at ng Cherry Tigo. Alright mga kaibigan, nagbabalik po tayo sa Power and Play. Bago po natin ipasok ang ating panauhin, isa pong pasasalamat lamang sa ating mga tagapagtaguyod. Cherry Loom, ang yerong may aluminum. Sa ganitong babago-bagong panahon mga kababayan, sobrang init tapos biglang ulan. Kailangan natin ng matibay at protektadong bubong. Dapat ang bubong ay yerong may aluminum. Kapag may aluminum, tsak na pang matagalan. At isa lang ang alam kong dekalidad na yerong may aluminum, yan ang Cherry Loom. Tibay protektado sa pang matagalang yero. Cherry Loom, ang yerong may aluminum. Maraming po salamat sa Cherry Tigo. Saluhin ang swerteng hatid ng Year of the Tiger. Own a brand new Tigo 2 Pro crossover with Cherry's Year of the Growling Tigo promo. Ba, ang ganda, no? Sa halagang 68,000 low down payment, may sporty 5-seater ka na safe in any road condition dahil mas mataas ang ground clearance nito kaysa sedan. Spacious din ang seats at legroom kaya mas komportable mapa-driver o passenger. May 9-inch infotainment system pa na pwedeng i-connect sa MirrorLink and Apple CarPlay para mas convenient at chill ang travel mo. Pili na from the 6 lucky colors of Tigo 2 Pro. Passion Orange, Lava Red, Graphite, Gray, Vivid White, Tuscan Beige at Laser Yellow. So hashtag move for more colors and adventure. Bisitahin ang www.cherryauto.ph to know more about the fun to drive Tigo 2 promo. Alright, marami din pasalamat sa Joyride. Let's start the Chinese New Year ride with a cashback from Smart. Get up to 15% cashback to your JR Pay wallet just by Smart and TNT regular load on Joyride Super App. Maximum of 5 transactions per customer per day only. Cashback is credited after 1 to 3 days. Ano pang hinihintay nyo? Download Joyride Super App at mag-load na. Let's celebrate also the Year of the Tiger with a no holiday surcharge for deliveries on February 1. Thank you also to Elms Seafood Paluto, the latest offering of the Elms Resto Bar Group located at Unit 2, ground floor, Cali Bistro, Ever Commonwealth, Quezon City. Enjoy their delectable seafood menu in a relaxed, casual dining atmosphere for your salo-salo seafood meal. Salamat din sa Carlito Sisig Seafood Paluto along Shaw Boulevard, now open for dine-in and takeout from 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Thank you also to Birmingham Subdivisions. Come home to Birmingham, located at Antipolo, Cainta, General Trias, Cavite, Marikina, Pasig, Rodriguez, San Mateo, and Tagaytay. Building communities since 1984. Celebrate your new year in a new home. Your home in Birmingham Subdivisions. Check out their Facebook page or call 0939-921-7458 or 891-27731. Marami din salamat, of course, sa Skin, Your Face and Body Anti-Aging Center. It's the beginning, of course, of the Chinese New Year, and the constant fight to lose weight from the holidays is harder than ever. So we heard you. Meron po tayong mga promo sa Skin. Call our branches at Alabang Town Center at Green Hills San Juan for your skin assessment and treatment schedule. 0917-890-1640 or 0977-809-8886. Of course, thank you sa Asea Subic Beach Resort. And of course, Power and Play is also brought to you by the Umami Bowl, your go-to for Japanese rice bowls, and Likhabe Weave by Weave, hand in hand. Check out their IG pages. And of course, Power and Play is powered by Smart. Live Smart. Alright, mga kaibigan, at this point, pasok na natin ang ating kaibigan and of course, the President ng ASEAN Taekwondo Federation and a former Olympian. Walang iba kundi si Congressman Monsour del Rosario. Good morning, Mon. Thank you for joining us sa Power and Play.
Good morning, Boss Noli, Kom Noli. Namimiss kita.
Oo nga, miss na miss ko na rin ikaw.
Oh, namimiss ko nang pumalo ng golf kasama.
Nako, pero mukhang hindi ka pwedeng pumalo ngayon at panay ang kampanya. You know, let me ask you. I want to go there straight, Mon, and I know na you are a senatorial aspirant, so gusto ko muna tanungin yan. Bakit ka nag-decide na bumalik sa pagtakbo sa politika?
Well, unang-una, I don't know if you know about this, no? Ako nakwento ko to sa iyo when medyo madalas tayong magkasama last year. Unang-una, when I was in Congress for 3 years, modesty aside, I made 292 bills and resolution, and I was able to pass one law. which is being used by the workforce of the Filipino people today. That is called the 2018 Telecommuting Act, or Work from Home Law, which allows our people to work from home and earn a living and feed their families. There are some laws na natenggay sa Congress na hindi ko na follow through o na follow up. And I was thinking to be in a senatorial platform and being in the Senate Hall, I would be able to push more of these bills that I want to achieve and to do for the Filipino people. Kumbaga, sa golf, nag-backswing ka, pero hindi mo na-follow through. Natigil ka lang doon. So, my bid for the Senate will be my follow-through if I make it. Second, a lot of people, before I decided to run, I have consulted many people from all walks of life and from different sectors of society, from business to political leaders to sports leaders. I got a lot of support, and many of them were also telling me na, why don't you try? There are so many others that are in that office or in that Senate Hall that have less credentials than you, and they're sitting there. We know it's going to be a tough fight. You're the underdog. You're the dark horse. But, well, you know me well, Boss Noli. You know my personality. Sometimes we fall. Sometimes we deliver. But we always rise to the challenge. And, here I am rising to the challenge. And I'm giving the Filipino people, the public, an option. Because I hear all the time, sila na naman, wala bang bagong mukha? Wala bang magta-try na bago? Wala bang gustong susubok? So, andito po ako para magbigay ng option sa mga tao na sakaling gusto nila ng isang Monsour del Rosario. I'm presenting myself to the country and to the Filipino people.
Alam niyo po mga kapatid, si Kong Monsour, kilala ko po ito. Alam niyo po, ang isang atleta, sobra ang determination ng isang atleta. We know that he is a gold medalist in the Southeast Asian Games, an Olympian in Seoul, has represented the country in the Asian Games in so many international competitions. But more than that, he is a leader sa atin po, lalong-lalo sa kabataan. And Kong Mon, what I want to ask you is, specifically, kasi galing ka dyan sa industriya ng sports, no? Meron bang nakikita kang magandang palatuntunan programa na pwede mong isulong in case manalo ka para sa industriya ng palakasan?
Meron, Boss Noli. I have plenty platforms that I want to focus on. About 4 maybe if I make it. No, I know the first thing I want to do if I make it in my first 100 days. But regarding sports, meron akong isang gustong gawin. Kasi hindi ko alam kung nakwento ko to sa iyo. And I'm sure very familiar ka dito because you have plenty people you know sa sports world and sa sports industry and sa sports community. At ito, nakita mo to kasi hindi naman tayo umalis ng bansa natin. Ako, nalulungkot ako na makikita ko yung mga teammates ko noon sa national team na nagbigay ng karangalan na pagtanda nila, karamihan sa kanila, lalo na to ngayon sa pandemya, naghirap sila sa buhay nila. Yung gym nila nagsira, yung iba nagbenta ng motorsiklo, yung iba nagbenta ng mga sasakyan nila para lang makaahon dito sa nangyayari sa atin dahil sa pandemya. Maraming naapektuhan. And ito, nakita ko sa ibang bansa kung paano nila inalagaan yung mga ibang atleta nila. So, gusto ko mag-propose ng bill na depending kung ano ang nauwi ng isang national athlete, whether it's a gold medal, silver medal, bronze medal, coming from the Southeast Asian Games, coming from the Asian Games, from the World Games, from the Olympic Games, from the World Championships, depending gaano kabigat ang medal na pinanalo sa gaano kabigat na competition, gusto ko na pag-retire nila, mabigyan man sila ng konting compensation o isang pension
parang pension.
Yes, yeah. At hindi naman gaano kalaki. Baka kung anong kayang iabot
Yeah,
sa kanila.
yeah. Oo.
Mapa 3,000 pesos, 5,000 pesos, 10,000 pesos a month.
Mm-mm.
Malaking tulong na yan. Dahil nalulungkot ako na iba sa kanila, binibenta na lang nila yung medalya nila na para pambayad sa gamot, pambili ng gamot, pambayad sa ospital. Tapos nalulungkot din ako na marami tayong na-develop na magagaling na coaches, na player, na gusto ko sana they will carry on and inspire the next generation to move forward, to get into sports and to bring honor to the country. Pero karamihan sa kanila, yung mga magagaling na na-produce natin, sila'y umaalis ng bansa. Nasa Canada, nasa Amerika, nasa Australia, kung saan-saan sila lupalop ng mundo. At yung skills na tinuro namin sa kanila, tinuturo nila sa foreigners kaysa dito sa atin mga Pilipino. So, gusto kong gumawa ng maybe a certain bill ma-propose na medyo hindi sila aalis, saka yung mga ibang na tumanda maalagaan. And also I want to give honor to our athletes, Noli, because you know, I have friends in the military, I have friends in the police force, and we see their children going to school. You know, they're provided, the school is provided for them, for the children, for government. And then, of course, when they die, they're honored with a flag on their coffin. I want sana to propose that our national athletes will be given that same kind of honor that our military and police people receive. Kasi they also bring honor to our country, and they work very hard to you know, the disciplined life of 7 hours a day training is no joke.
Malaking bagay yun, Kong Mon, because alam natin how important it is na magkaroon ng kahit pa kaunting seguridad para sa iyong buhay after your career, dahil ibinuhos ng mga atleta ang buhay nila sa paghahanda, hindi nga nakakapagtrabaho yan dahil yun nga ang kanilang pinaka-focus, yung pagbigay ng karangalan sa ating bansa. So yung iniisip mo is malaking bagay yan para sa mga atleta na kahit papaano ay pangabayani din naman ng ating bansa. Mon, before, you know, I'm running a little bit out of time here, but I want to ask you, you know, about this EJ Obiena Patafa situation. Ikaw, dati kang NSA official, you were the Secretary General ng Philippine Taekwondo Association. You were also, of course, an athlete na nag-ensayo, nagsanay sa labas ng bansa. How do you, what sense do you have here? Anong advice mo maibibigay mo kay EJ? Ano namang advice mo mabibigay mo sa Patafa? Just before I let you go.
Well, this is basing on my experience. And this is also knowing how sports is you know, handled here in the country. Although different NSAs have different ways and different systems on how they handle their athletes and their national team. Ako, ang tingin ko dito, Noli, bottom line, ang problema dito ay pera. Ngayon, kung yung ibang tao older than EJ, mga government officials, private individuals who work in companies that are in their 40s, they're in their 30s, they're in their 50s, pag nakahawak yan ng perang malaki, kung sila nga natitempt na may gumawa ng hindi maganda, ano pa kayang isang bata na masisilaw sa ganong klaseng halaga? So, sa akin, para maiwasan itong mga problema nito sa mga ibang atleta na susunod na mag-represent sa Philippines natin, sa tingin ko, dapat hindi pahawakan ang pera ang atleta. Kung ano man ang mga financial situations o kailangan nilang gawin para magawa ang training ng isang atleta, dapat hindi hawak yung atleta ng pera. Dahil ako nung atleta, my focus was only training, eat, sleep, train, and then perfect my sport, perfect my art, my skills, and then try and bring the highest honor I can bring to my country. And I also became a national coach. I also became a national trainer. I also became a sports leader. So I know the roles of how to, you know, how to take care of athletes and how to develop and avoid these problems. And never in my life, in our association, even when I became a sports leader in our association and different competitions, that we made athletes hold money. So as much as possible, mas maganda kung maiwasan yung ganun mga pangyayari na ang atleta ay mag-handle ng finances na kailangan niya bayaran ng coach niya, board and lodging, pagkain niya. Yun ang tingin ko dyan para maiwasan tong problema na to. Nothing against, and also sana, Noli, ito mga ganitong internal problem, sana doon na lang sa association
Yun,
nila maayos. Hindi na sana siya lumaki at pagpiestahan ng mga media kasi maliit na bagay ito. And I understand.
Pinalaki na lang eh, no?
Oo. Kasi ang daming sumausaw. At yung mga sumausaw naman, wala naman alam sa mga nangyayari na internal problems, kaysa ipagbati yung dalawa, pinag-aaway pa, so lalong lumaki ng lumaki. So dapat dyan, may someone in the country that can give intervention, paayusin silang dalawa, kasi kailangan natin ng NSA, kailangan din natin ng Olympian. Kahit papano, magawa ng paraan, kasi kung hindi, lahat na lang mga na-develop natin, mag-aalisan na lang ng bansa, magpupunta na lang sa ibang bansa, at doon na lang sila mag-represent. At yung mga leaders natin, ako naintindihan ko naman ang leader ng Patafa. Kasi siyempre, kailangan niya sumagot sa PSC. Kasi ang PSC, ang Philippine Sports Commission, ang nagbigay ng pera na malaking halaga. Yung kumbaga, responsibilidad ng presidente na alamin kung saan napunta. Pero sa akin, ang tingin ko, sa susunod, dapat hindi pahawakan ng pera ni isang 5 ang atleta. Kasi nung ako'y atleta, ang nakukuha ko lang allowance ko na maliit o minsan premyo. Pero yung ako hahawak dahil nandun ako sa Korea, binubugbog ako ng mga Koreano mag-training. Gulpi-gulpi ako. Tapos babayaran
Hahawa ka pa ng pera.
Diba? Ayoko na problemahin yun eh.
Tama.
Yun, Boss Noli.
Yan po mga kaibigan, ang boses ng isang leader. Nakita niyo po yung karanasan ni Monsour. And it's very important as we move along. Of course, in many aspects, hindi lang naman po sa sports si Congressman Monsour. And he has done so much for this country, giving us honor time and time again. Kaya, Mon, I hope I can get you back on the show. Marami pa tayong pag-uusapan. But again, maraming salamat sa oras na binigay mo sa amin. And good luck sa iyong senatorial aspirations. We certainly will be putting your name on the ballot as far as I'm concerned. Maraming salamat, Kong Mon.
Thank you very much, Boss Noli. Nice to see you again. And this time,
nice to
tayo
see
naputol. Last time with Onyok, naputol tayo.
Oo nga, sayang. Di bale, mahahaba pa to next time. Thank you, Mon. Salamat. Alright, mga kaibigan. Monsour del Rosario, ang ating pinagmamalaking Olympic taekwondo jin, and of course, a gold medalist sa Southeast Asian Games, dating Secretary General ng Philippine Taekwondo Association. Congressman po yan sa Makati dati, and of course, naglingkod bayan, ngayon tumatakbong senador. Alright, we'll take a quick break sa amin pong pagbabalik. Maganda to. Usapang courtside reporter ng UAAP sa ating pong pagbabalik sa Power and Play. Ito po ang Power and Play, hatid sa inyo ng Cherry Loom at ng Cherry Tigo. Nagbabalik po ang Power and Play. Ngayon po ang ating pag-uusapan ay ang pagiging UAAP Courtside Reporter. Nakapambihira yan na. At yan ang ating ilalagay sa ating In the Spotlight. Meron pong ongoing na search for the next UAAP Courtside Reporter. What does it mean? What does it take to become a courtside reporter? And we're very fortunate to have with us today mga batikang hindi lang reporter but broadcasters and journalists. Walang iba kundi ang ating mga kaibigang si Tessa Jasminez at si Rizza Diaz. Good morning, Tessa. Thank you for joining us. And Rizza, thank you so much for joining us.
Good morning. Thank you for inviting us.
Alam natin si Tessa, the original courtside reporter. And of course, Rizza is now not only a courtside reporter, but a news anchor para sa Signal TV. There is an ongoing search for a courtside reporter. Let me ask you first, Tessa, bakit ka ba naging courtside reporter? And what do you think is the significance? Kailan ka ba naging courtside reporter, Tessa?
Diyos ko po. that was 1991. It was
wow!
The first year na yung UAAP got regular coverage from TV. Silver Star Communications pa noon.
Oh, nga. Why did you become one? Bakit mo naisipan yun?
Well, because I was parang responsible then for bringing Louie into the mix because it was UP that was host and so siya yung nag-provide ng ano. And then, first time din siya naisip na hindi lang basta reportage or coverage, kailangan din ng on the side. There was simply no one else. Yun lang.
Hindi naman siguro. Alam naman natin kung gaano kakagaling na ano.
Hindi ako broadcaster.
But still, you are a public relations person. You know how to talk to people. You have very good relationships with many athletes, many people in sports, and that's why I think you know. Nagulat ako, but I thought it was a perfect. I didn't know this. Na ikaw pala naging courtside reporter. Rizza, let me ask you. You know, you were a courtside reporter, of course, for the UAAP. What is the significance, una-una, of a courtside reporter for those who are wanting to follow your footsteps?
Kung malaking bagay yung naiaambag ng reporter kasi to a broadcast, lalo na on our end, being women courtside reporters, meron kang dalang ibang flavor eh. Iba rin kasi yung outlook minsan na nakikita ng reporter who's on the ground, plus idagdag mo doon yung kind of like flavor na dala ng kababaihan. It doesn't have anything to do with, let's say, beauty or anything like that. It's more of just, you know, your observant eye, yung attention to details. And these things, naku, Diyos ko, hinanap niyo pa itong mga pictures ko. Dito ko na nag-iiba. Ano ba yan?
Ang bata-bata mo pa dito, Rizza.
Opo. Pero yung naiaambag po ng isang reporter sa coverage are, of course, telling those stories that are not seen on TV. Right. Yung hindi nakikita at hindi nasasabi ng anchors at analysts ng play-by-play na tanging reporters lang nga nakikita because we have that privilege and that access to be really close to the players, to be able to listen to the huddles, to be able to even given opportunities to ask the most personal questions that could be related to how they will perform during the games or during the matches. So, malaking bagay po talaga yung role ng courtside reporter in a broadcast.
Rizza, you know, before I go back to Tessa, now you are, you know, a news anchor for Signal. Of course, you are, of course, continuing. You have your own show. You still do some PBA games. Paano nakatulong yung pagiging UAAP courtside reporter mo in your career?
It pretty much opened all the doors. Ang laking stint nung UAAP back then with ABS-CBN, because we know how the Philippines, how us Filipinos are basketball loving fans, and how college basketball is just so big here in our country. Talagang inaabangan siya at pinapanood siya whether you're still in college or not. So pagkatapos po ng UAAP, it pretty much opened opportunities for other work, for other hosting gigs, for auditions to other jobs on camera. Pero yung pagkapasok ko naman po sa Sports 5, medyo aksidente yun because to be honest, I wasn't invited for the interview. The other reporter, who's a friend of mine, was invited, and I just so happened na kasama ko siya. So, nung pumunta po siya sa audition, sumama na lang din ako kasi nandun ako.
No, wow.
And
Ang galing.
from there po, nagtuloy-tuloy na. I auditioned, let's say today, 11 o'clock in the morning. 5 p.m. I got the call that, okay, tomorrow you report na.
Ang galing, very quick. All right. Tessa, ang laki na ng pinagbago ng courtside reporting, I guess, from your day. Una-una, how has it changed? And secondly, ano ba ang mga qualifications ng isang magaling na courtside reporter? Yes.
Ayan, interviewin na lang si Rizza, nasa kanya ng lahat. Believe mo kay Rizza talaga. She's so bubbly, she's so sharp. Anyway, back to your question. How different has it been? Well, during that time, it was more functional than anything else. But still, as Rizza said, it provides a different point of view, provides a different flavor. If the game and the coverage of that game is science, I think the courtside reporters binibigyan niya ng humanities aspect.
Yun.
Yung
right.
game. So, how different was it? During that time, mostly it was, naglagay sila ng courtside reporter for practical reasons and also to give it a different kind of fringe benefit, let's say, no? Kasi yung parang yung sponsors ba, they at that time, believe it or not, because it only happened mga 2 weeks, 3 weeks preparation lang nung kinuha ni Louis Kirul film job. And so, nambraso lang siya ng kaibigan niya sa advertising world. The first advertisers of the UAAP then were a shampoo brand and a formula milk brand. Ganun lang talaga. So, is parang ma-encourage yung pag halftime Mentos, they come out, they give the gift to this particular player, si Tony Boy Espinosa, and then they're mentioned on air. So, parang perk siya. But also, they give parang as Rizza said also, yung inside story, anong nangyayari dyan. Pero mas complicated yung ginagawa ng reporters.
Very quickly, Rizza, because I have a few minutes to go. Sabi nga ni Tessa, ikaw daw yung perfect courtside reporter. But when you describe the good qualifications of a courtside reporter, ano yun?
Siguro po para sa akin, yung marunong makinig at marunong magkwento sa kumbaga in a language that would be easy to understand. Kasi also what people don't know about courtside reporting, sportscasting for that matter, ang bilis ng action. So you have to be also on your toes to be able to listen to the story, put it together in your head, and deliver that story on air. Otherwise, sa terms natin, mapapanis na yun. Hindi na siya magagamit after a while. So, kailangan you work well under pressure. Of course, other than that, kailangan good communicator ka. And I believe para maging good communicator ka, maging good interviewer ka, you also are a very good listener.
All right, very quickly, Rizza, sino yung most memorable interviewee mo? In other words, for you, best interviewees during your UAAP days. Rizza, I'll begin with you.
Ako siguro Manny Dandan at saka si
Manny Dandan, wow.
Yeah, Coach Manny Dandan and Coach Jolly pa. These are coaches that are not easy to talk to. They're very nice, don't get me wrong. Pero kapag hindi nila type makipag-usap, you only get one word answer.
Yun ang challenge.
Yes, and that situation would make you, it pushes you out of your comfort zone kasi ang sinabi lang isang salita. So, it's not like you're going to expound out of it para mag-create ng drama or anything, pero mapapaisip ka, anong relevance nung sinabi niya? Kahit isang salita yun or kung ano man. And it's a story. I'll give you a quick example. Money Dandan one time, huddle, pumasok ako, halftime, we were down, NU was down like 20 big points. You know, the courtside reporter relies on the halftime huddle. Kung ano sasabihin, para may i-report ako ng third quarter. Money Dandan, pumasok ako sa huddle, sa dugout, blanco ang whiteboard. Walang sinabi at all. As in, zero. Silence. So that's my report. He didn't anything in the whiteboard. He did not say anything. And the players' reaction was this, you know, dinescribe ko kung anong reaction nila. But I'm looking at the vibe of things. Manny Dandan knows his players, trusts his players, they know what to do.
All
So,
right.
parang ganun po yung naging storya. And,
Same question, Tessa. Sino ang paborito mong ini-interview? Nakita natin yung mga pictures mo with the LaSalle players. Sino ang mga paborito mo na interview ng panahon mo?
Wala naman ako in-interview kundi sila eh. Actually, no. I wasn't interviewing the way today's generation of courtside reporters were interviewing. I was just doing them sa side. Hindi ako pumapasok nun sa dugout. I entered the dugout as a sports writer, not as a courtside reporter. So, diba, I did not get the same experience. Yeah.
All right. Tessa, do you think it's time? It's time na magkaroon ng mas marami pang, hindi lang courtside reporter, panelist na babae sa mga sports coverages.
Yes, I think Rizza Diaz already became a...
Started it?
Yeah, started it already. And I think, yes, because they, first of all, they are familiar with the game already. They play the game. And I think it's also good to see their side. As Rizza again said, there's a different kind of outlook pag yung babae nag-analyze, mas detail-oriented.
Rizza, same question. Panahon na ba na mag-panelist ang mga babae? Mas marami pa. Sa NBA, nangyayari na yan eh.
We have gone a long way from the time na discriminated ang babae sa world ng sportscasting. Kasi na-prove na ng mga kababaihan na we're qualified for this and we are good at this job. And
absolutely.
I believe that now also more than ever, with the emergence of other sports here in our countries gaining more popularity, like volleyball, other sports like skateboarding, even esports. These are sports that women can take advantage of to, pursue their broadcasting career. Kasi in real honesty, basketball is so hard kasi conventional talagang lalaki ang play-by-play eh. I'm not sure if we are ready to listen to a girl talking for like 2 hours getting all excited, but the NBA does that like Doris Burke. Siguro talagang dadahan-dahanin natin when it comes to this sport like basketball. Pero yung other sports, volleyball, atin yan, kayang-kaya yan.
Well, with the examples of you, Rizza and Tessa, I have no doubt. Absolutely. Women should be in the panel, and I am the first one that will be voting for that. Ladies, thank you so much. Naubusan na tayo ng oras. I hope we had more time. It's a very interesting topic, and I certainly hope that mas marami pang mga kababaihan ang sumunod sa inyong career. Thank you so much, Tessa and Rizza, for joining us this morning.
Thank you.
Salamat, Ma'am. Bye, Ma'am.
Bye.
Ayan po mga kaibigan. Tessa Jasminez and Rizza Diaz sa Power and Play talking about ang pagiging courtside reporter. Alright mga kaibigan, we are done. Pasensya na at medyo nag-overtime tayo pero ang dami natin na pag-usapan. Marami po salamat sa inyong pagsubaybay muli sa Power and Play. Magkita-kita tayo ulit next week. Again, sa lahat po ng inyong gawain tuwing Sabado, bawal ang masungit. And of course, ad maiorem Dei gloriam, all for the greater glory of God. Happy Sports Weekend mga kapatid! More power, more play.
I dare to dream big.
galing na meron tayo. Ilantad ang likas nating talento at magdala ng saya sa mundo. Sa harap ng pagsubok ay di susuko, para sa pangarap tayo'y porsigido. Magpakitang gilas na at magpapatalo, ipag-iwang natin ang Pilipino. Yan ang Pinoy. Mula noon at hanggang ngayon, talento natin ang bida. Mula sa simpleng bakuran hanggang entablado natin ipakita. May pagsubok man ng Pinoy, pinalalakas ng saya. San man tayo sa pulo, Chumbe, Sibay, Lakay, Amiga. Sama-samang pakita ang galing natin katropa sa kapwa ko Pilipino.